Good morning. It's now week 3 of 2012, a year with Mya-Moe Unscripted. It's Sunday morning here at about 6 a.m. We're in our third day without power. We got our internet back yesterday, which is sort of nice, and looks like they're telling us we've got another couple of days left before power comes on. So luckily we've got a generator and a wood stove and pellet stove, and so we're doing all right for now. But we do live in a part of the country where this kind of happens from time to time. We get some pretty vicious weather. Anyway, luckily you're just watching me and not near me, because it's also our third day without a shower, which is just lovely. So I thought for this week's subject I would talk about the background of Mya-Moe. I looked over the list of things that I want to address during the year, and among them there's a lot of business and marketing things, but I think you have to know where Mya-Moe came from for those to make sense. So, you know, I had a career, as did Shar, before Mya-Moe. We both were in high tech, and Shar ran technical departments, generally dealing with web design and development, and I ran a couple of high tech startup companies. And I retired from that in the late 90s, and kind of futzed around with various hobbies, and decided on a lark to try to learn guitar. I bought a guitar, and then I bought a second one and thought, boy, at this rate I'm going to have to go back to work. So I'd always enjoyed woodworking and thought I would try to build a guitar. And I did, and ended up building, over the course of 5 or 6 years maybe, built 23 guitars and F-type mandolins and so forth. Really enjoyed that process. People liked my guitars. They were critically acclaimed, at least locally. But I don't think the world needed another guitar builder. And one of my early guitar owners, Mo Dixon, came to me 4 years ago right now, January of 2008, and asked if I would build him a ukulele. And I'm not sure I'd even used ukulele in a sentence up until then, and I certainly couldn't spell ukulele. And I laughed at him. I thought it's a joke instrument. And he said, well, look it up on the internet and let me know what you think tomorrow. And I looked it up and thought, there's something going on here, and I think I'd like to try to build one of these. So I built what's now our classic and a resonator over the course of the next several months, I think 4 or 5 months. And by the time I delivered to Mo, enough people had found out I was building them that I had some demand. Much different than in guitars, where, you know, there are just so many guitars on the market. I don't think the world needs another guitar builder, but not so with ukuleles. And so I was pretty intrigued, I guess, by the demand, and ended up going to the Portland Ukulele Festival that summer and saw all these wonderful ukulele-crazed people, and having a lot more fun than guitar people, even though they're often the same person. But I think people pick up a guitar and they get a very, very serious look on their face, because there's expectations about how they play the guitar. Whereas with the ukulele, there's no rules, and people just laugh and smile when they pick it up. And I said to Shar, you know, I think I want to build for these people. And we kind of had 2 other data points that occurred to us, that happened to us, that in retrospect were both random, but at the time we didn't know that. We had a website right away that we did on iWeb on the Macintosh, and very rudimentary, and we put up a Google ad, and the very first day a guy ordered a ukulele. And our other data point was we went to a retailer in Portland, and a guy walked in off the street and gave us a check right then for a ukulele that wasn't even finished. I'd brought a couple of wood bodies with me. So I said to Shar, geez, I think it'd be kind of fun to gear up and build 3 of these a week. And that was for some reason kind of my goal. And and so that's what I set about doing. I think I'd always wanted to kind of turn the guitar business into a little production kind of operation. And with ukuleles, I saw that opportunity. And I ended up, within about a week, I said to Shar, I think I need to hire somebody. And she said, what about me? And I might have laughed even, because she had no woodworking experience, was afraid of the bandsaw. And I said, I need someone with experience. She said, certainly there's something that I could do. And I said, well, I think you could use the overhead sander. And a month later, she was building the bodies entirely by herself, which is kind of how we split up things today. So I think with that, I will end this session of 2012, A Year with Mya-Moe Unscripted. And sometime during the year, I will start off, or I'll pick up where this left off, and talk about what I believe is our best hidden, somewhat hidden asset, and that is Shar and what she does with the ukuleles. All right, thanks, and I'll see you next week.